Hello. Hey, Anthony. Hey, ED. How's everybody doing tonight? Hey, Kelly. Hey, Mark. Hey, Brent. I thought I would make it easy on myself tonight and do just do a little bit of inking. Excuse me, to unwind from kind of a weird week. Lonesome Hunters, The Wolfchild 2 came out this week. I hope everybody picked it up and enjoyed it. So I've had it on my mind that I wanted to ink this this Jack Kirby Conan page. And so that's what's on the agenda for tonight. Oh man, Mark, that whole series, the whole Lonesome Hunters is me wringing myself dry. Like most of the books I work on are written by other people, which sort of allows me to have a slight emotional distance from it. Or even like a huge emotional distance from it. But Lonesome Hunters, I was not able to do that. So I hope this isn't too boring and redundant from just watching a little bit of inking, but hopefully it'll be like a chill end of the week. I have very big plans to not do anything this weekend. Which is something I haven't been able to do for a long time. I've been really working hard on a bunch of stuff, and it's nice to finally have some nothing days planned. Nice. I'm glad, Edie. Yeah, Kelly. These last couple weeks have been so nuts. Like I haven't even wanted to go outside, go for a walk or anything. I've been stuck in the house because it's so hot outside. Hey, Math Raptor. It's good to see you. And I'm inking with this. This is my FW ink. Usually it comes in a little dude like this, but this is the big jar. And it's got this great spigot for getting ink out. It's very it's very clean. FW. I think I admire Kirby more than I like Kirby. Hot here too. Ugh, man. Yeah, the late night hots are the friggin' worst. Kirby is like, he's one of those guys who, it's really shocking to me that he, like, got as big as he did. Because I feel like it's an acquired taste. I mean, I'm probably wrong about that. There's probably a ton of people who are like, the first time they saw Jack Kirby, they fell in love and never went back. But I think, like, for me, the thing about Kirby is that, like, he's not working literally, I don't think. Or at least I don't interpret his work that way. Like, whenever, like, a really good example is how he'll draw guns. And the gun will be different, like a totally different gun from panel to panel. Like, he does not care that it like, it doesn't have to look the same from panel to panel, because he's not interested in, like, what guns look like. He's just interested in drawing the coolest possible gun at any given moment. And from panel to panel, that'll change. So I think when he's working on stuff, he's not like literally saying, like, this is what Conan looks like. I think he's saying, like, this is what Conan feels like, which is amazing. Like, yeah, this is a self-portrait. Yeah, Bruce Timm's got the Kirby vibe. Math Raptor Mignola once said, "I think only Jack Kirby should draw Kirby characters." That's I think there might be some truth to that. But I also think that, like, well, like, Mignola probably thinks that because of working on that what was that book he did? That DC book with all the new gods or fourth world characters. Like, I think I read that Mignola didn't really understand Kirby until he worked on that book. And then sort of in immersing himself in that world, got to really, really like Kirby. The new gods. What did I call them? Cosmic Odyssey. That's the one, Anthony. Yeah. One thing's for sure, this inking goes way faster than those that Steve Rude page. It's just because of the economy of line. There's just not as many lines to um, to have to ink. What was Hellboy's first appearance? Was that actually in a Hellboy book, or did he appear before that? So I showed the book at the beginning, but I guess it's worth saying again that this is from the Art of Comic Book Inking. A really fun book. Oh yeah, Next Men 21. That makes sense. I forgot that John Byrne was doing stuff at Dark Horse back then, and I always forget that John Byrne like co-wrote those first issues. I did one time get to see um, that very first Hellboy drawing in real life. which is pretty fun. When I went and met, like when I first got hired to do B.P.R.D stuff, I went and had lunch with the Mignolas. And Mike showed me that drawing, which apparently at some point had been stolen. And then it showed up on eBay. And he managed to get it back from that somehow. I don't remember if he had to buy it or if he just got the people to give it back to him. But it was almost lost to history. Yeah, exactly, Mark. The one where he's like a hairy dude, kind of. He's got the belt buckle that says Hellboy. Yeah, he has a fish hanging from his belt. Classic Hellboy. Inking Kirby is actually a fun hobby of so many like comic book artists, because he's one of those artists. He the story I heard is that he lost a issue of pencils that he put in FedEx or whatever, and lost the entire thing in the mail and had to redraw it. And so he swore that he would never do that again. And so he made copies of and saved like all of his pencils after that. And so there's just like thousands of them available. There's, if you Google Jack Kirby pencils, you can always find like really cool original pencils of his. And it makes for a very fun like inking warm up. To ink a little Kirby. Yeah, don't trust house movers. I don't think it was house movers. I think it was like, I don't know, when did FedEx exist in the 80s? They must have. I think it was after Kirby moved to California. Like Kirby was in California and was having to mail his stuff back to New York. I've been really wanting to try coloring inks recently. Never considered inking pencils though. This might be a fun exercise to try out. I think it's really fun. I think inking is my favorite part of comic book making, and it kind of breaks my heart that I spend so much time doing watercolor pages because I feel like my inking has gotten better and better. I probably said this on stream before, but I feel like my inking has gotten better and better, and you can't see it because it's all sort of obliterated with the watercolor colors. Yeah, I said that about obliterating my inks. Yeah, I really would really like to work on a black and white book someday soon. Seems practically impossible just because publishers, like I don't know of any publisher that actually thinks that like Western comics would sell in black and white. I think it would be yeah, not more cartoony. Like I would do if I was going to do a black and white thing, it would be a little more well, it would be my same like regular art style, but like the vibe would be a little more manga-ish, I guess. Oh my god, yeah, Guy Davis's black and white stuff was so good. The Marquis is definitely like some of Guy Davis's um, best work. You could tell that he really loved working on that book. And some of his earlier stuff, like oh, what was it called? The he did that thing that was sort of a riff on uh God, what's the name of that detective, that classic English detective guy? God, I always sound like such a goober on these streams because I forget everybody's name. Sherlock Holmes is who I'm thinking of. Guy Davis did that Sherlock riff that was pretty great. That was like the character who was like the Sherlock of the story was a female detective or like a punk detective living in a squat or some, I don't know. It's been a long time since I read it. Shout out anybody who remembers what that was called. Yeah, I would be surprised if there was if that marquee hardcover came out. I get the impression, like I don't know Guy Davis. I've only ever like, I think I spoke to him on Twitter once. Right when I was taking on B.P.R.D. And that's like all the contact I've ever had with him. But the impression I get is that he has a really amazing career doing film design stuff. And my impression is that he's like very much more happy doing that, which is sad for us, but good for him. Oh my gosh, I need to go. I think they still have the Pinocchio exhibit in Portland right now. And I really need to try to make a point to go see that. Especially since it's so close. Like, that's nice. I haven't seen it either, Kelly. I haven't had a I've actually had a Netflix account for a long time. Yeah, we should, Kelly. Oh yeah, no doubt, Anthony. I think the Netflix like I think that the problem with Netflix, and probably the problem with all streaming services, is that they can't make money off of showing TV shows, like at $14 a month or whatever. Like they just can't pay for that. But so they make all their money off of venture capital, which is like basically a unsustainable business model. And I think we're seeing that finally sort of come home to roost for a lot of people. Oh, Mark, I hadn't heard that Del Toro was going to focus on animation. That's really interesting. I like he did Pinocchio with Leica, right? They're one of those they're a rare local animation studio. Yeah, right, Methraptor. It just the physical releases are sort of like antithetical to their business model. Like if I could buy a copy of Pinocchio or rent a copy, I would have done it already. Actually, what I should do is just go over to my parents' house and watch it. Shadow Machine. Yeah, I have never heard of them either. I also haven't heard of Wendell and Wild either. I do think that I did see an interview with Del Toro where he was saying how he had to ask them to make it look a little more jerky, like to make it actually look more like stop motion. And that is absolutely the right call. One thing, like I think Leica is an incredible studio, but one thing that I think they get wrong is that they try to make things too perfect. And that they're capable of making things too perfect, which is extraordinary. I haven't seen Coraline in a really long time. I remember, like, God, did I actually rent that? Like, was that? I may have actually rented Coraline from Blockbuster. I can't remember when it came out. But I remember not liking it very much, oddly. Makes me think I need to revisit it and see what I think. Something that I just remembered sitting here thinking about Conan. If you ever get a chance to look up what Conan looked like before Frazetta started doing Conan stuff, it will blow your minds. At least it blew my mind. Like the first couple books that he was in, he like looked like a Roman centurion kind of. Like he wore like a little cotton or wool tunic, a little skirt kind of thing. Totally different vibe from what Frazetta came up with. In fact, it's even like, where did I see that? It must have, I think it was a Frazetta documentary I saw where they showed some of the very early Conan book covers. And like Frazetta's version is just so dominant that like it's really hard to even find those online, I think. Easy breezy. Heavily illustrated by Mark Schultz. Is he the guy who did Xenozoic Tales? Is Legacy a Conan story? I I listened to. I actually haven't listened to. I haven't done much of the original Conan stuff outside of comics, and but I did listen to a bunch of audiobooks a couple years ago. And I gotta say, I prefer the comics. But I kind of prefer the comics of everything. Oh, the Frazetta art book called Legacy. Yeah, I have a couple little Frazetta books that I got at a bookstore that was going out of business. I wonder if one of them is called Legacy. They're in the other room, or I would grab them. That dude is a weirdo. I mean, he wasn't that weird, I guess. It's just weird that I was. I'm always just like, and it's so bigoted of me, I guess, but I always feel weird when well, I don't feel weird. I always am tripped out when jocks are also artists, which is like Frazetta for sure. And that's like half of his strength is that he was a jock. I mean, that's part of Kirby's strength too. Not that he was a jock, but the fact that he used to get into street brawls when he was a kid. I think, at least he has said that informed his ability to draw a fight scene where he could draw what it really felt like to be in a fight. Oh yeah, man, that's got to be weird to like draw your hot wife being a hot wife everywhere. Quick reference photos. Yeah, I have to ask my hot wife to pose for me all the time. It's actually really funny to the number of scenes that are that I've drawn in comics that are based off of Ma'at. A lot of people you would not imagine. And me too, actually, yeah. Good point, Ma'at. Oh man, ED, it's like too many to even like list. It's like in any comic I've ever drawn, there's probably at least like 10 drawings that are based off of some photo reference that I shot of Ma'at or myself. In this house, we shoot photo reference. These little furry underwears are so funny. I don't know what it is, but I have always loved Barbarian shit. Like when I was, I loved the Conan comics. I loved Kazar. I loved He-Man. I like the Conan movies. Oh, we got one person saying furry underwear are not good, and another person saying we need them for the wintertime. I feel like these furry underwear are facing the wrong way out. Totally, ED depends on the event. Yeah, I only go to events where fur underwear is required. Thundar the Barbarian, yep. There was another cartoon. Was it called Black Star? Or something like that? That was like one of those that was only on my local TV station for like a second when I was a kid. The ultimate Conan blender. That's why he's so grumpy all the time, getting in all these fights. He's got his underwear inside out. Oh, I should look that up, Math Raptor. I bet he did do one. That it's got to be the same company that did He-Man, Funimation or whatever. Because I feel like they reused a lot of the same animation between He-Man and Black Star. That's one of those little pieces of media that I saw when I was a kid. Like I probably saw maybe like 3 or 4 episodes total, and then have been thinking about it for 35 years or longer. Jesus. Oh yeah, Cadillacs and dinosaurs. That's one that I actually only know from Toy Galaxy talking about it. I completely missed that when it was on TV. And yeah, Edie, that mocap, that rotoscoping is so good. God, I loved He-Man so much when I was a kid. That's one of those few like licensed projects that I always am a little bit jealous of, that I've never been asked to work on a He-Man comic. Dark Horse and my editor over at Dark Horse worked on a bunch of He-Man stuff, like art books that are really good. Like there's a book that covers every episode of the cartoon, and they have a book that is like every action figure that they ever made. I mean, up until when the book came out, because I think they're still making new ones. Oh man, if you guys are interested in rotoscoping stuff, the guy who wrote Petrograd produced an animated feature called, oh my god, what was it called? It was a fully rotoscoped movie that came out. I think it came out during the pandemic, but it's like a sword and sorcery kind of book or movie. Fuck, what's it called? If you look up Phil Gillette animated movie, I'm sure you'll find it. They got like Lucy Lawless to be in it. Spine of Night. That's it. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Mott. It was really exciting. They managed to get that made for for very little money, I think. And it turned out so good. Teamwork in the comments. Love to see it. Man, I was shooting to try to get at least the main figure done tonight, but I think I'm just gonna do his sword and then call it a night. Do his hands and his sword. Love Kirby's like weird ass sausage fingers. Hey, Rudak. You didn't miss the whole thing. And you missed most of this stream, but I'm sure I'll pick this up again in like 4 months. Yeah, totally rude or Math Raptor. I like all of his hands, man. There's if you read enough Kirby too, you start to collect 6-fingered hands that are really funny. Like he just got like overexcited drawing fingers and you end up with 6 fingers on a hand. It's actually kind of remarkably common for Kirby stuff. Oh my God, Joseph. Yeah, his 6 pages a day is nuts. But when you look at him, especially when you look at the pencils, you can see how he did it. He definitely relied on his inkers for a lot. Actually, let's wrap up this leg. Anthony, yeah. I don't know if Mignola encourages the no foot thing, but he definitely lives it. All right. Okie dokie. Doing the background will be fun whenever I get back to it. This dragon back here is super cool. Lady strapped to a log or something. I don't know. Yeah, they need to bring back these swashbuckler boots. Everybody with cool boots like this got them replaced with like military boots in the last couple decades. No, I'm not taking a break from streams. I don't plan on it. I hope I didn't make it sound like it. I'll be back next Friday. And I just don't know if I'm going to be working on this next Friday. I might have basically like when I'm starting a stream, usually about 10 minutes before I start, I'm like, what am I going to do tonight? And this inking book is actually one of my fallback plans for when I can't think of anything. I'm like, oh yeah, I can just do that. That'll be fun and relaxing and whatever. Oh, Kelly, that's a good call. Doing some He-Man would be really fun. Yeah. Okay. That is it for tonight. I'm calling it quits. Thanks everybody for showing up and hanging out. I had a really good time. I am still like always really surprised at how many people will sit around and just watch me goof around for an hour every week. I have a good time though. All right. Well, remember to tell everybody that you love how much you love them. And I love all you guys. And I hope you have a great weekend. And I'll see you next Friday. Thanks, guys. Bye.